Good morning. Whew. And reach up. I think we have everyone here this morning. Hooray. And left. And let's circle it out. I have daylight in my little room again. Yesterday it was covered over the height of my window with snow. And it was blowing so hard we couldn't clear it out until late in the day. But now it's cleared. I have daylight again. It's so nice. I don't think I would survive very long living in an igloo. Let's add some legs. Let's sink it down low, reach up high. And let's start reaching across. Shoulder height. Rotate. And last two. And bring it back to center. Let's roll your shoulders. Let your elbows lead. Two more. And then one at a time. Swing your arms out. And let's loosen up our necks. Just a minute. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So let's look over each shoulder, trying not to rotate your body. Right and left. Each time, see if you can glance just a little further over your shoulder. And come back to center. And we'll take one ear down to a shoulder and down to the other shoulder. No cheating by bringing your shoulder up to your ear. Or for these last two, take your hand and give yourself a little assistance. Instead of pulling down on your head, I want you to push up into your hand and push your other hand down. So for me, my right hand's on my head, I'm pushing down with my left hand. Push up into your head, push, push, push. And then slowly release. Let's go to the other side. Remember, you're pushing into your hand, not letting your hand pull your head. So you're creating a little bit of a active stretch. Get those muscles to release and come on up. And notice if it feels any different. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go nose to the ceiling, nose to the floor. So trying to create with both these movements as much length in your cervical spine as you can. And then we're going to come back to center, bring your hands right behind the crown of your head. And again, you're going to push back into your hands, and your hands are going to push down. So on the way down, your hands are winning, but you're keeping that tension with your head pressing into your hands. And on the way back, your head is winning, and you're able to come back up. Good. Now shake out your shoulders, see what they feel like. Everything should be just a little bit looser. I think we got at some of the muscles in your neck. Let's try to control everything. Let's come down to the hips and we'll pop out side to side. And some hula hoops. And reverse. So if those neck stretches felt pretty good and your neck is feeling better now, that's a pretty nice thing that you can take with you into your day. When you start getting tense, your neck starts feeling tight, start hearing all those crunchies in your neck when you try to turn it. Easy thing to do while you're sitting. And reverse. Okay, let's come down to the knees. Feet about hip width apart, shoulder width apart. Let's take our knees in and out. Yeah, let's make it feel a little bit different this morning. Make your feet circle in different directions. Last reverse direction. Very good. 4, 5, 6. And let's plant our feet into the floor, circling out the ankles 4 or 5 times each direction. And switching sides. Same thing, 4 or 5 times each direction. If you need more and you're watching this on video, by all means, take more. We're going to keep working through our ankles a little bit. So let's come into first position. We want to squeeze our heels together, our legs together, and lift up into a releve. 2 more. And then let's go pigeon-toed. So we're going to work more on the outsides of your lower legs. Press your big toes together and keep your heels flared out. Last one. Finding your balance or holding onto something for support. Let's take one leg out. Let's do a bunch of ankle wiggles. And then rotate from the hip and lift that leg up. You should be feeling it all in the inner thigh, not the top of your thigh. So really turn that knee out. Good. And we'll switch sides. Other side. Let's go for the ankle wiggles. And then rotating from the hip, turning the knee out and the ankle up. We're pulling with those adductors, inner thigh muscles. Good. Let's do some softball pitches. We haven't done these in a long time. 2. Just go for 8 on each side. 4. This is 5 for me. 6, 7, and 8. Let's go to the other side. Round we go. 3, 5, 6, 7. Last one. Bring it back to center. Let's go side, to side, to side. Doesn't matter if your toes are pointing out to the side, angled, or forward, as long as your knee is going in the same direction. 4. Okay, let's do triples on one side, little pulses. 3, 2, 1, up and over. 3, 2, up and over. Nice and easy. Let's see if we can sink those hips down a little bit lower each time. Beautiful. Down and over. And back to center. You can walk your feet in just a little bit. Let's come into shortstop position. Drop one shoulder down and the other. Let's bring our hands down to the floor, sink into a squat. Shift your weight side to side if it feels good, or just hang out here. See if you can lift your chest up a little bit instead of hanging down towards the floor. Wake your back up. Let's bring your hands to the floor and let's go for 6 bottoms up. Your own pace. That's 6, 5. Enjoy that stretch. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. And let's take one arm up to the ceiling and rotate and down, the other arm up and down. 2, 3. Last set. And hang out here, bring your elbows, your hands to your elbows. And shift towards one knee and then the other. hands on your knees, and we'll roll it up. So let's get started. We are up to, if my counting is right, we're up to a 1 minute plank and a 30-second half plank. So let's get those out of the way, and then we'll do our shoulder mobility on the floor, the snow angel arms, and we'll get into the body of the workout. So let's come down on the floor, get yourself set up. Hands or elbows, your choice which way you hold the plank. We're going to go in 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 60 seconds here, hands or elbows. If you've been doing the work and adding 10 seconds a day, this should feel doable. Maybe hard, but doable. We're already 15 seconds in. Hang in there. I'll cue you every 15 seconds. In fact, I'm going to turn around so you can see my clock better. We're at 30 seconds now. We're at 30 seconds. You are doing great. Hang in there. Time is flying this morning. That's a good thing. Think about squeezing that newspaper in your arms or hugging your armpits into your ribs, pushing back through your heels, brace through your abs. We're 45 seconds. Might be getting a little shaky. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. We have 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Nice, nice, nice work. Hopefully these are getting easier for you. If they're not getting easier for you, reach out. Let's talk. We can hop on a quick call. We can do a quick form check. Figure out if you're having trouble with planks, why you're having trouble with planks. Okay, 10 seconds. Let's go onto our elbows or onto our incline if you're using a bench or a table. We're going to pop up into our side plank in 30 seconds. Full length, stretched out. Up we go. Now you can have your hand here. You can have your hand behind your head if that helps. You can have your hand down here. What I don't want is this. So we're at 15 seconds already. Halfway through, 30 seconds, time flies. 20 seconds. Stay with me. Keep that hip lifted. Don't let it drop to the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Swinging it around to the other side. We're going to go in 5 seconds so I can keep track of the numbers on the clock. 3, 2, 1, and up we go. Nice work. So where you're feeling this is here. If you put your fingers here, you feel these muscles are solid as a rock. These muscles you can kind of poke in at. We have 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and down. Nice. So sometimes it's fun when you're down there to reach on the underside and realize, wow, those muscles are working super hard to hold you up. We want those to get so strong. Let's come into child's pose for just a second. Stretch out your back, stretch out your sides. Lift your weight organically, side to side. Now let's come down onto our backs. You will need a pillow or a ball or half a foam roller or something that you can squeeze between your knees. That will start activating the inner thighs. The inner thighs are so important. It has nothing to do with having thin thighs. It has everything to do with having stable knees and strong hips. So let's come down onto our back in tabletop position with our legs. You have the ball or the pillow between your knees. Squeeze it as hard as you can. Get those inside muscles of your legs firing, and our arms are palm up on the floor. We're going to keep our arms stick straight as we squeeze the ball and keep our arms on the floor as we reach up. As soon as you feel like your arms want to bend, that's where you stop. And we're going to do this about 5, 6 times. Remember, the back of your arm, back of your hand stays on the floor, and your elbow stays straight. I'm gonna do one more. And come on down. The other thing having the ball in between your knees does, when you're squeezing it, your abs engage. Sometimes if you have trouble with shoulder mobility, engaging your abs, getting your core engaged makes all the difference in the world. It frees up your other joints. You create stability here, you get mobility here and down in your hips. So that's the method to the madness. Here we go. Okay, so we are into our B's. We have 1, 2, and 3. We have our narrow weighted split squats. We only need one weight today because we're going to switch it up. If you want to stay with bicep curls, you're welcome to stay with bicep curls. We're going to add a single arm press with the movement. No bicep curls, just the press. If you want to stay here, you're welcome to stay there. Then we have scarecrows to work our shoulders and our heavy dumbbell row. So we're going to get our back really engaged. I've got my weight set already. Grab one weight, 2 weights if you're doing the bicep curls. We're going to come into, change my camera. There we go. We're going to come into our narrow squat. You can kind of check out that your knee is falling right behind your heel. That out of the way. And the weight is going to be on the same side as your back leg. Okay, so we're going to start here, sink down and press it up. So weight on one side of your body is called an offset lift. Forces one side of your body to work a little bit harder than the other. So what you think about staying nice and tall and stable. 7. And 10. Good. Let's switch sides. Okay, so check that your knee is nice and close to your heel when you come down. Start with the weight at your shoulder, sink it down, press it up. This is going to throw you off balance, having the weight up high. Nice. Last one. Good work. And grab a quick drink. We'll grab a pair of weights this time. We're doing scarecrows. So I set up in a split stance just because it's easier for me to hold myself. Take your elbows to 90 degrees. We're going to lift up, rotate, down, and down. Elbows lead. Up, up, down, down. 2. Here's 3. 4. If you need to adjust your weights, adjust them next time. Do as many as you can with the weight you've got today. 5. 6. 7. 3 more. 8. 9. And 10. Good. Put those weights down. Shake your shoulders out, swing your arms. And let's find your heavier weights. So because we're doing them bent over, If you don't have heavy weights, you can use tubing or a band, hook it under your foot and let the band add resistance to your weight. I'll do them that way. This first time, we're in week 3. I want everyone to try to go just a wee bit heavier or have just a little bit more resistance. So front leg is on the band. These are my 8-pound weights. They're going to feel a lot heavier with a heavy band attached to them. Hinging back. And from here, nice flat back, we're going to row for 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, back stay flat, 4, 3 more, 2, and 1. Good work. You don't need to change feet. We're doing a bilateral back exercise, but that's just a placeholder for the band. Okay, so let's take a break, shake your arms out. We'll take a minute here, grab a drink, roll your shoulders, stretch your neck, whatever you need. I have my cup of tea. I forgot to bring my water down. And let's take another 20 seconds here. And then let's pick up our weights. 1 weight. 2 weights if you're doing the bicep curls, 1 weight if you're doing the overhead press. Find our narrow split squat stance. And let's hit it. So down, up. Sorry, my hand was supposed to start at my shoulder and I blew it. Notice if you feel like your body wants to lean towards the side without the weight and resist that urge. And 10. Good. Let's switch sides. Are we mixing up bilateral and unilateral? You betcha. Here we go. Down and up. 3, 4, 6, 7. Nice. 8, 9, and 10. Let's swap out your weights if you need to. I actually am going to swap out my weights. My arm is still a little wonky from shoveling. So, elbows 90 degrees, lock them there. Lead with your elbows up, rotate back, down, and down. Good. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Little rotation. Be a killer with too much weight. 9 and 10. So when you're done, when you're doing this, make sure you come up to goalpost arms. Your hands aren't like this, and they're not like that. You want them to be nice straight goalposts like you'd see on a football field. It's good. Let's put that weight down. I'm going to go for my heavier weights this time. For dumbbell row, let's give your shoulders a little stretch though. So we just did overhead press, we did more shoulder work, and now we're asking your back and your shoulders to some extent to do a little bit more work. You don't need to rush it. Okay, so hinging over, Hips back, back flat, abs tight. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. And let's take a minute here. We'll get through this. 3 sets of everything. Okay, let's take a moment, come into standing cat-cow if you think that would feel good. And grab a drink. Let's go for round 3 in about 15-20 seconds. Let your heart rate come down, step touch. You just shift your hips side to side. Whatever feels good. Okay. Like to our split squats. I'm going to face you head on this time. So narrow step, weight at the shoulders, sink it down and up. Make sure you're not doing that and hurt yourself. Nice. And down here, switch sides. Ooh. 3rd set, I'm feeling it. I hope you are too. Let's sink it down, down and up. Or biceps. It's all good. And a few more. And 10. Good. Shake out your legs. Do some butt kicks. Some hip openers. Whatever weights you need for our scarecrows with the shoulder rotation. Get centered. Bend your arms. Elbows lead. We're up. Rotate. Down and down. 2. Nice. 3. See how far you can take that rotation. 4. Nice. 5. I like what I'm seeing. A lot of scarecrows on the screen. 6. 7. 8. Last one. Up, up, down, and in. Good job. Okay. So band plus weights. This is week 3. You might be tired by now. That's okay. Week 3, we challenge ourselves. And last week I was using 20-pound dumbbells. Went up to a whopping 22 pounds, and I can feel the difference. Sometimes just the tiniest little increase, tiniest little change that you make a difference. Woo! We have a snow thrower going by, and I'm grateful. He's got his little spout facing the opposite way. That's not going to go hammering my window, which happened the other day. I thought all our windows were going to break. So nice strong position, tight abs, glutes engaged, and let's pull for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, squeeze those shoulder blades, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Done. Okay. Let's actually come down on hands and knees. Let's take a minute or two. Just circle it out, let your back stretch. Or come into child's pose and let your arms and your back stretch. We're going to set up for our C's. For C's, we need a loop band. I need to find where my loop bands are. We're going to be doing our reverse Nordics to get our quads, engage our backs, or glutes stay engaged. If you don't understand that, just trust me. We're going to do, hair in my mouth, the banded drivers just to kind of a finisher for that move. And then we're going to do a glute bridge hold with a chest press. So everything we're doing is either kneeling or on the floor. And our next set is all on the floor. So I'm just going to change my camera now while we're waiting. So I have a loop band. And I have, what weights am I going to use? I'm going to use my 12 pounders for the chest press. We got a little wild with the with the bridges last week. I think we're going to come back to basics this week. So we're going to start with the band around your wrist, above your watch if you're wearing one. You don't want them on your hands. I don't want you cranking on your wrist to try to pull out on the band. I want your arm and your through your back doing all that work. So big toes pinched together, or alternate, you can try curling your toes under and see if that gives you stability also. Squeeze your butt, set your shoulder blades down. We're going to pulse out as we reach back and up. Remember when I used to do just this band work for a warm-up? Those were the days, right? 3. I think with your heels up, it feels like it's a little bit safer that you're not going to go flopping down onto the floor, tearing everything in your leg because it's so far away. You kind of know where your heels are. You press your toes together, you get the stability. It feels like you're dropping into a black hole. Let's do 2 more. Shoulders away from your ears. Don't hunch up. And then come down into a comfortable position. Where are we going to do this? We're going to keep the band maybe on the other side. Now, let's do it like this. So hold on to the band and pull it apart. A little different grip this time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7, and 8. Feeling it? I'm feeling it. Let's bring your weights a little bit closer to you. And we'll come down on the floor. Helps have the weight on either side. I roll them up as I come down, and then I can press my elbows into the floor to lift them up. We are going to line up your feet, knees, and hips. Your feet can be a little bit closer if that's more comfortable. Nothing fancy about what your feet are doing as long as they're pressing into the floor. You want to press with your whole foot. Inhale to repair. Exhale and lift. Squeeze that booty, and we're going to hold it here while we lift our weights for 10, 9. Hold up as high as you can. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the weights down. Slowly lower your hips, bring the weights down to the floor, and roll it up. Come into a comfortable position. You can be cross-legged or on your knees, doesn't matter. Let's do a little twist. Get a stretch in your torso, maybe a little stretch in your shoulders. Go to the other side. Now let's take your hands behind your back, clasp them, and pull them down. I want you to think about rolling your shoulders back, pulling your shoulders down to the back, shoulder blades down towards your hips, and then see if you can lift up. You can drop your head, or you can look up, whatever feels better on your neck, but we're getting a nice big chest stretch. Let's come back onto our knees. Your choice if you keep your big toes pressed together, or if you're up on your toes. I think I'm going to stay up on my toes this time. Dare to be a little bit different this week. Here we go. We're going for 10 Nordics, reverse Nordics. So we're going to do those little pulses. Remember, you don't want your shoulders hunched up. You want to pull down and pulse back. So think about not bending your hips, keeping those glutes squeezed nice and tight. Good, halfway there. 6, if your arms are getting tired, if your shoulders are fried, don't do the pulses, just hold that tension there. 7, 8, 9, one more. 10. Okay, taking an overhand grip on your band, and you're trying to pull it apart. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Oh, let's stretch out the front of your shoulders. Let's take about 15 seconds or so. Stretch what needs to be stretched. Roll your shoulders, move your neck. About 10 seconds, I'll meet you on the floor. You want to have your weights on either side of you. Settle down. Oh. And let's bring your weights up to your chest, pressing into your entire foot. So you're not on your toes, you're not on your heels, but your whole foot active. Inhale to prepare, exhale and lift. Stay lifted wherever you are now. I want you to stay there the whole time. Squeeze up booty, and let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, lift a little higher, 5, 4, stay lifted, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring it down. Don't slap your back down onto the floor, roll it down, or slowly lower it. Bring both knees into your chest. Make little circles or rock side to side. Give your back a little rest. Now let's come into a pencil stretch. Ooh, make yourself as long and tall as you can. So when I get to forget that I'm only 5'3", right? I feel so long, so tall. Ooh, let me come in and roll it over. We have one more set. And then our D's are a real quick one, right? So No worry about time today. So let's take another 25 seconds, roll your shoulders, swing your arms. Maybe come onto hands and knees. Let's do some cat-cow. Check in with how everything is feeling. Tuesdays are a pretty shoulder intensive day. So if you're feeling it, you're feeling it. If you need to drop your weights, drop your weights. You need to use a lighter band or no band. See what it feels like. You can also do the reverse Nordics, just pressing your arms out. It's going to help engage your core. In fact, why don't I show you that now? Because I think if my shoulders are tired, maybe yours are too. So let's come back up to our reverse Nordic position. If you want to try it without the band, as you're pulsing out, you're getting your lats, which talk to your glutes, which hold you in place. It's really a fabulous first choice option. If pulsing out, your shoulders are just toast from what we've done today, clasp your hands and push them out, pull your shoulders down. It's also going to engage your lats, and you can pull back like so. So just see if you can feel it. See if you can feel your back working. If you want to go back to using a band, go ahead and use the band. We're still going to use it for the drivers that are coming up next. 3, 4, 6, 7. 2 more. Stay with me. Squeeze that booty. Press those shoulders down. Good. And then stretch it out for just a sec. And find your band again. We'll do our 10 drivers. Set your shoulders down. Nice tall posture and go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just a little finisher. So swing your arms, see how your chest is feeling. Let's set up for the floor. It's 8 o'clock if anyone needs to know what time it is. We've been going 45 minutes. Yay, you. We're going to set up our last set of chest presses. So pressing into your whole foot. I don't want to see any toes pulling up. You know, I can't see you, but I don't want you to feel it either. So inhale to prepare. On the exhale, lift up, lock those hips in place, and let's go for 10 lifts. 2, 3, 5, 6, 4 more, 4, 3, stay lifted, 2, last one, lift higher, and come on down. Roll your hips down. Bring the weights down, hug your knees in. Nice work. Okie dokie. Let's put those weights to the side. Let's take a minute here. Our D's are short and sweet. We have our sideline one-arm raises, which are just, that's a little more shoulder work. So let's really take this break and stretch and enjoy it. And then our crunches, we're reaching to the feet. So grab a drink. They go pretty fast. So when I first got into strength training in the late 80s to the early 90s, everyone was training to be like Arnold and go for bodybuilding. And it was all muscle isolation. If you isolate a muscle, how big can you make it? And yeah, that helped me be stronger. I was also a lot younger, but I could hike fast, I could move fast, I felt really strong, I was running, but I was isolating every single muscle group to make it as strong as I could make it. And over the years, the biggest lesson I've learned is we don't need to isolate our muscles because our body doesn't work in isolation. Our muscles all work together. Our brain coordinates everything beautifully. that if we can get our back and our hips working, or our chest and our shoulders working, you need everything working together beautifully, not isolated and not individually strong, to work together. You don't see athletes isolating their muscles. They're working full body functional. So let's come down on your side. But you think about staying engaged through the core, not letting your body sag. You want to stay in essentially as tight as a side plank as you can, but you're laying down on the floor. Arms straight out. Use your breath, because we're working through the diaphragm, our ribs, and all the other muscles in your torso to lift the weight. So arm is straight, inhale to prepare, exhale, lift it up and lower. 2, 3. I think 30 years, if anyone had ever tried to tell me that your back muscles were connected to your hip muscles, I would have had to have spent a lot of time in front of an anatomy chart trying to figure out what the hell they were talking about. Because I have all these machines in the gym still that isolate muscle groups, which serve a purpose, but I don't think it's the smartest way to train. But some people, maybe it's the only way to train. Let's do 2 more. 9 and 10. Let's flip it around, go to the other side, find our side lying, side plank. You want to keep that whole torso engaged because it's supporting you, right? If you were a jellyfish here and trying to move this weight, you would be rolling all over the floor. Your whole body is working. So inhale to prepare, pull that shoulder away from your ear and lift it up. So I'm not anti-machine, but I think they work best for people who are rehabbing certain things in their body and they need to isolate and strengthen in a different way that gets at healing that injury and recovering from it. But it also is really great for people who don't know where the muscles are. They haven't learned to find them. They don't know how to feel them. They don't know what their bicep feels when they curl it. Sometimes having a machine put you in that range of motion helps you find those muscles so that you can strengthen them. So, and like I said, sometimes those are the only machines that are available, the only things available to somebody. So, crunches. Why did I get up? Let's lie back down. Come onto your back. Again, as always, if your legs don't go straight up like that and you can't flex your toes back towards you, bring your knees into tabletop. We're going to take our hands up, holding a weight. Size of the weight is up to you. I'm staying light just because. Just because. It's a warning for just because. So straight up, bent knee, and we're going to curl. And even if your knees are bent, I want you still reaching for your toes. 6, 10, 2 more. Good. Hug your knees in. Roll it out. We're going to go through all of that one more time without pontificating. It'll go really fast. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. We're going to get right into it as soon as I see people rolling over onto their side. We'll have a big long stretch after this. One more round. Here we go. 10 lifts. See, it went so much faster without me talking. Pivot up and around. God knows how many extra reps you've done because I just started talking and lost count. Here we go. 2, 3, What do you think about really pulling with your back? Think about that shoulder blade coming in. Two more. Let's come onto your back. Bent knee, straight leg. Reach up. And here we go. 12, 11, 10, 3, 2, and 1. All done. Hug those knees in. Let your back rest. Feel your whole spine on the floor, rolling around with the knees. Get that whole lower back a little massage. And then hug your knees in and see if you can flatten your tailbone down towards the floor without arching your back. Take a big breath in. Let your back expand into the floor and see if you can exhale and hold it there. One more time. Inhale, see if you can lengthen and flatten your back, and exhale and hold it. Good. Take our arms out to the side. And take our knees down to one side and hold. Inhale, bring your knees up. Exhale, bring your knees down to the other side. Look over your shoulder the other way, opposite to where your knees are going. Inhale up. And let's make it a little more fluid. So down to one side, exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down to the other side. Inhale back up. Let's bring your feet down onto the floor. And windshield wiper. So bring both legs down to one side. You want your feet wide enough that your knee doesn't hit that other foot. I want you to pulse that leg down, the top leg down. It's reaching for the heel. And then come up and over. And let's try to get that internal rotation on the other hip. Come back up to center. Let's cross your left ankle over your right knee and butterfly that knee. Pressing that knee away from you towards whatever's in front of you. Let's twist down. You want to keep that openness in that front hip. Come back up to center. Reach behind that thigh, your right thigh. Pull that knee in. See if you can push your left leg away. So you're pulling on the right, pushing on the left. Bring that foot down, switch sides. So right leg over left. We're gonna butterfly that right knee, open and close. Loosen up that right hip in the hip socket. That's where you're feeling it. And then twist down to the left, keeping that knee pressing away from you. So we're opening up the right hip. And let's bring it back to center. Reach behind your left thigh, pull it in. Use your right elbow to push your right thigh away from you, or if you're not too tight and it doesn't feel too hard, use your hand. So you're pulling your left leg in, pushing your right leg away. You can feel that deep in the right hip. And then let's stretch our legs out. Let's stretch our arms long. And we'll slide our feet over to the left, slide our hands to the left. And we'll stay here for 2 big breaths. So breathing in, let your rib cage expand. Nice big side stretch. Come back to center. Let's take it to the right. Arms to the right, feet to the right, hips and shoulders stay on the floor. 2 big breaths here, breathing into your rib cage. And come back to center. Let's roll it over. Onto hands and knees. And let's come back into child's pose with a thread the needle. We'll stretch out your shoulders. So one arm is pulling forward, the other arm is pushing to the side. See if you can bring your head down and your hips down as you're in the stretch. And come on up and we'll switch sides. Okay. Nice work this morning, team. Take a big breath, give yourself a hand or a hug, whatever you need, and I'll see you on Thursday morning. Definitely stretch with